2023. There we go. Happy Monday. We're going to do a cut file today, and I posted it on the Facebook group before the weekend to give you a chance to cut it out as well if you wanted to. So, of course, several of you will have cut it earlier than I have, but it's here. It's on my desk. We're ready to go. So it's a free cut file if you want to grab it. It is designed by Paige Evans for Scrapbooking Cards Today magazine. So you can find it on the Scrapbooking Cards website under Fall 2023. Yeah, so there's a section for all the like freebies and extras you can download, like printables and cut files and all sorts of stuff like that, sketches, page sketches. It's under Fall 2023. Okay, right, let's get to the desk. Let's see what we've made in October so far, and then let's have a look at this wreath and Paige's new papers that were in the October kit so that we can see what we're going to make today. It is going to be a starting point, so I'm going to add photos to it at the in the second half of today's video, but in the first half of this video, we're just going to make a start to a page where you could then add the number and size of photos and anything else you want to make it your style, and it doesn't ever have to be the same direction that I go. Yeah, just to get you unstuck. If you're ever looking at your stash in the desk and your paper and going, I don't know, we got you covered. All right, enough of my face. Let's go. We have got stuff that we made this month, and I needed to paste onto the Facebook group today's link. Today's live. Go. It's the shortest post ever. All right, now can I have back where I can see you again? Yes. All right, so we have got this one that we made at this very start of October, which actually was stuff from the August kit that we didn't get to use. Oh, hold on. Okay, we are clear. Is the image coming through clearly on YouTube? The image that YouTube is feeding me back, which is like this big, it's tiny, is blurry, but the image that I'm sending out is clear. So I'm hoping it's just that it's little. Okay. Anyway, this was with August stuff that we just didn't get a chance to use in August, so we used it in October. Fine. And then this is October kit from then on, and we used 4 pieces from the 6x6 paper pad to make a quadrant themed layout, but one with a little collage section here, a little border section here. And then on Friday, we made a Right Now page with 2 4x6 photos and lots of places to write bullet pointed journaling. All right, so that is what we have made so far. Thank you for the feedback that it is clear on your end. It's just the funny little version that I get in the corner of the YouTube screen. And here is our cut file. So you can see I have got the outside ready to go, but I have all of these little bits to do as we go, but we're gonna make that work. That's fine. Now, we have some papers from Paige in the October kit, but we also have some things that are not Paige. That's not Paige, that's Doodlebook. And we have that from Simple Stories, Doodlebook, Echo Park. We're gonna maybe use that today as a background. And then here we have the Paige papers. Now, I'm not using this one because, remember, I have a plan for this one, so maybe we do this either Friday or next week. I'm not sure which day. But that one we are using as a 12x12 background like that. I think next week, because I think this will suit a whole bunch of little photos really well, and I've sent WB on a mission this week to try to take lots of little photos behind the scenes at work. So we could do like little, I don't know, maybe. It can't be stuff that I am not allowed to show, but I think there's quite a lot that's just like him hanging out. So I could do that. So we have these 3 from Paige's new Lovely Lane collection. So I thought we might mix these in, and the Queen herself has arrived. Everybody go say hi to Paige. She's in the live chat. Hi, Paige! So yeah, I think we use both sides of these. Is that going to freak anybody out that I'm just going to cut into all of them? I am keeping this one as a full 12x12. I have 4 sheets, and I'm cutting into these 3. Okay? So I'm going to put these back to the side. And that gives us this white wood grain background, which we're then going to have this wreath on. And we're going to fill the gaps in the wreath with these pieces here. And I'm also thinking would be really cute to cut out some of these and use them as like little embellishments on top of the wreath. P.S. I'm not great with the cutting machine, and I always have a few little things that are imperfect as I punch stuff out. So thinking of little embellishments you can layer over the top into your wreath is totally up my street, because you know what? I love covering up what I get wrong. So we're going to do that. Yeah, so that's my plan. Let's get the branding strip off this so that I've got a background ready to go. And because what I want to see is, before I tear out the inside pieces, tear out, let's just be honest, tear out, punch out, cut out, remove, no, tear out. I want to get this white cardstock to a tone that's going to look really nice with this, which is going to be just the tiniest bit of ink work. I don't want to go straight in with walnut stain. I want one of those colors that I ask myself, why do you own this? It's barely a color. So the two I have in that category, no, I only have one in that category. Lost Shadow is like so pale. And then I also have Hickory Smoke, which is funny because this makes it look quite dark. Y'all, that's the swatch. So it comes out lighter than it looks. But that's going to be too heavy. This is where I want to start with this one and just kind of ink a little bit to make it not be so much like a white against cream. So what I'm thinking is a little bit of gray and a little bit of brown. I know, I'm hard work. I want all the things. A little gray, a little brown, a little not making a decision. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Georgia wants to know if Paige is prepared for the random rubbish that happens here. I don't know. Have Paige's live streams become like super focused? Oh, Annalise says tearing it out sounds terrifying. Well done. But it is October. I think we can be a little spooky. It's fine. Okay, so where do I have a booper head? I don't know if I do want a booper head there it is, for the almost invisible gray that is Lost Shadow. And then, not that, let's swap around. Make sure I didn't just get any giant Haunted Mansion purple fingers, but I did not. Okay, so we're going to take the very pale gray. See, it's like I'm putting nothing on there, but it is there. There is a difference. Can you see it on screen? Probably not. I can barely see it with my eyeballs. But we're going to start light because we can't go back. Oh, I haven't done my speech, by the way. Should I do it while I ink? Hi, my name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime I scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my #advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live, chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, have a silhouette and aren't very good at using it, like me, any of these things. And usually, if you've got a question that needs a link, it's probably linked in the description box with this video. So that includes the supplies that I'm using this month and the supplies I'll be using next month. The classes I teach, I have one that's current right now called Just Joy, if you want to focus on happiness and scrapping. Oop, and throw a booper around your desk. Yep, that one. Or I've got a brand new workshop in the first week of November that is for all my #organized ladies who go, I love Journal Your Christmas, but I don't like that you make everything on the fly because I want to be ready before December. Well, so guess what I called it? Ready for December 2025. And so you can find that all linked in there. All sorts of other stuff too. Yeah. And anything you don't find linked there, you can just ask and I'll see where I can send you. All good. Okay, so that was step 1 of inking it. It is a little different. I can see the difference a little bit. Okay, now I want to go in and just add a little bit of the walnut stain. Maybe just a little bit of hickory smoke, just a little bit. And then a little bit of walnut stain. A little bit brown, a little bit gray. Okay, so we want to not make it too heavy. So we're just going to take little spots. And then blend it out. Aw, thank you, Gina. Gina is loving just joy. I'm very happy to hear that. So yeah, if you're wondering about Just Joy is a class where I make layouts, but then at the end of each one, and I'm making layouts that are things that make me tremendously happy as a creative person. Like as a crafter, this is stuff that makes me go, yeah! Which I do sometimes in the videos. Then at the end of every video, there's a checklist of joy with questions so that you can ask yourself, is this something that brings me joy? Is this a technique that I would love doing? Should I do it more often? Or is actually watching her doing that and going, no, girl, I'm never going to do that. And then you have an awareness of the stuff that's going to bring you the most happiness. So when you need to use your craft to be very, very escape artist in a different kind of way, escaping reality and be like, nope, this is my happy place. You're going to have that set up so that you know the sorts of things that are going to bring you great creative joy. You're not going to waste any time doing things that are just ho-hum to you. You're only going to have the ultimate dopamine that helps you get through it and use whatever you need. Yeah. Okay. Now, so we got a couple little patches of darker ink on there. Now it's starting to look different than the white cardstock. Last little step of inking on this then is going to be to go back to my normal, this is the brown, yes, walnut stain, really, really super dry ink pad. And this is not an oxide. Those first 2 grays were oxide, but this is just what I use on my edging. And it's a distress ink pad that I don't re-ink until the last possible moment. So it's really dry, and that means it's easy to control and you only get a little bit at a time. Oh my goodness, Nikki is watching from the air? You're very fancy then, Nikki. Welcome, welcome. So this way I can just brush loosely around the edges, not worry about getting into teeny little gaps because it's quite forgiving, but I'm never going to have like a big ink splodge because it's an ink pad that is not treated well. That's what I need for my edges. And now we're talking. Okay, so it's going to look a little different, but right now this combination, gray and brown and neutral, who is she? Let's add some color because I'm not going to cope with this lack of color. So that's where Paige's Beautiful Papers are going to come into play and save the day. So shall we? There is a green. Shall I start with some green? Oh, I read that entirely wrong. Nikki's not in the air. She's outside. Amazing. Sorry. I get confused by live chat topics sometimes. She's watching al fresco. There we go. Autumn's like, I don't know who you are. You're pulling out gray ink. I know. Well, it's a crazy time. But now we're going to fill it with lots and lots of color. Now, you could fill every single little piece with a different paper. Of course you could. You have more patience than me. I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out all the leaves and see, all the big leaves, and see about putting green behind all of them, or if that's too much green and I want to mix in the jewel tones. So I'm going to then, but within like a leaf is all going to be one piece. I'm not cutting little tiny windows because we know I am hyper aware of my timing that I like to use on a layout before I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I start this? And my timing is much shorter than Paige's. So we're going to see about just backing all the leaves in one color, and then all the floral elements and the acorns will change the color as we go around. Is that a plan? But within each piece, like each flower is going to be one color, each leaf is going to be one color, yeah? But you could do all different pieces. Oh, and Georgia is on it. She's also honest, I hope. But she is on it. She likes to take a file like this and back it all in vellum, and then you can just put it over a paper that is your style, and you've got a lovely layout ready to go. Great starting point. Da, 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 da. Okay. Come on. This one is tiny. I need something to poke it. Come here, sharp object. It is time for you to serve your purpose. Poke. Thank you very much. Now, is that part of this leaf? Oh, we have 3 leaves together here. I'm not doing them all the same color then. Okay, let's do this one in green because it's the same sort of shape. Ooh, I've got Annalise thinking already today. She says she never thought to ink the cut file first. She gets too stuck in having to fill the spaces rather than how it might work best on your on her in the process of her layout. I always like to put it against the proposed background first to see if I am actually liking that combination. Georgia says, I tried out inking vellum as a backing piece and it looked so good. That sounds beautiful, like stained glass windows almost. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to do all the leaves that are that style. So it's this one too. And green. Nikki's going to come back when she's indoors to Tomorrowland. That's fine. The signal is not coping. Okay. So do we think that's the ones that are going to be green? Now, does this match the style of any other leaf around? No. I think I'm going to keep that green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green leaves. I like it. Okay. Nikki, before I go, what's the best way to ask questions about a class in Just Joy? Do you mean like about a lesson already in the class? There's a chat and share thread for every lesson and every live stream, so ask on there. Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to need a pencil. What do we got today? Seize the day. Now is the time to seize the day. I'm going to go around these leaves. So I'm going to trace on the outside and cut on the inside. And then I'm going to squint to see what I traced. Three. I'm appreciating the shape of this leaf very much. That will be very easy to cut out. Yay! This is a good one too. Okay. Is that everything? I believe so. Oh yes, Gina went to a crop for the first time in 15 years. Tell us all about it, please. Okay, traced on the outside, got to cut on the inside. Got to remember. Brilliant. So the cutting out of this bit, it's really forgiving because it's going underneath the line. So you don't have to stress too much. And all but one of these is a really easy shape to cut. So the other one, I've saved the hard one for last. This one I gotta pay a bit more attention, but it's not too bad. It's fine. Okay, now. I shouldn't have put the mat away. Now I need it for glue so I don't make Maleficent upset. All right, so we're going to take adhesive and roll over these that we know we are covering. Okay. Then we figure out which one's which. This is the little bitty one. This is the super long one. This is the different shaped one. Narrow one. Take the end off there. And then this one. All right. So when we turn it over, ding, 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 we have that. Nice amount of green. Yes. So we're starting to see that it's going to be more colorful. Okay. All right. Any little pieces that need trimming. Nothing's showing on the front, but there was one that needed the end trimmed here. There we go. All right, and this one is also going to cut into another piece. So we'll take that back. What about this end? There we go. Now, what shall we do next? Hello, Allie and Sophia and anybody else who's turning up just now. So shall we do... What do we want for the... So we need... We have 1, 2, 3, 4. more big leaves that can't be green. I'm kind of feeling like the navy for 2 of them, but what color for the others? This one? Or keep that all to the floral. Blue, light blue and dark blue for these leaves? What do you think? Auntie Caffeine thinks that Paige's Lovely Lane collection would mix well with Head in the Clouds if you still have Head in the Clouds in your stash. There are some very similar tones in here, so yes, I think you're on to something. So let's get some blue added into our leaf mix, and then we're going to have the pinks in the floral. Yay! Right, Gina's report. Number 1, she found her crop from the Facebook group post that that Georgia started. So whoop, whoop, whoop. We love that. And Gina says, it was Friday and Saturday with at least 30 women, lots of scrappers and a few other crafters. Joined 3 different groups so she would have plenty of options to scrap during every month, and everyone was so lovely. Now that is a wonderful report. Yay. And did you get stuff made? Oh no, Auntie Caffeine is hoarding her Head in the Clouds. She's only made 1 layout with it. Use the paper, get it in your album instead of your cupboard. Okay, we got 1 there and 1 here. Now, this one here is going to be a little pesky because these parts are leaves, right? But those parts are open space, aren't they? So I need to trace it so that it's 1 piece, 2 pieces, but this is open. So I think I will wait to punch those out so that I can trace it correctly. But this kind of leaf I love. So the centerpiece here is white, so it's going to look like it has extra layers, but it's actually no harder to cut. Gina made 1 page and lots of friends. That sounds like success. Oh, I should have said, the dog next door barking has just reminded me. So if you've been around lately, you'll know that there's a saga of we have a hole in our roof, and it has to be fixed. We have a housing association kind of situation, so we can't just have it fixed. Anyway, they've been up on the roof working today, and they have said when they think that they have the hole patched, they're going to run one of those, like, fill it with water and see if it leaks kind of tests, and then they'll need to come in and check. So, you know, that's probably going to happen while we're live, right? Because that's how these things work, which means they're literally going to trump right through and march right through into the bathroom to be like, how is the leak? It was one of these leaks that's quite funny because we kind of were chill about it. We inherited a slow leak, but it was over the bathtub. So, like, of all places to have a leak, that's where you want it, right? It's just going to go straight down the drain. Fine. And then, well, we were like, you know, we know there are bigger priority items that need fixing. It's fine. We'll be cool. Then one day, his Avenger's like, why is there a tap running in our house? There was not a tap. There was a bigger leak. Still over the bathtub, but this time creating a huge muddy rainstorm into the bathroom. It's not what you want. We advertise, you know, like a rainforest shower. That's not what I really want. So I'm glad that it's getting fixed, especially before we hit November, because November weather here is rain. Can I interest you in rain? Rain. Also, rain. Have you heard about rain? Yeah. So it's just colder with a lot of rain. People say, oh, it rains so much in the spring. Oh, honey, November. It rains a lot in November. So much. Just cold and wet all month long. Here we are, here we are. I'm so close. We're going to have these 4 leaves in blue. 2 different blues, light blue and dark blue. Here's a question for you. Yeah, so Allie's like, I think you need a new blade. Let's ask. How many cut files do people get through on a blade? I'm really curious. Because I literally get through 2. This is the second cut job that blade has ever done. I get through nothing. It's just, I've just adjusted that this is how it works. All right, pencil. Trace, outside, cut, inside. Have to remind myself. Okay, so that one, and then this one. Corey's like, I don't cut enough to count. Good girl. No idea. It's fine. Just checking that I didn't have a cutesy branding strip, but I don't. Okay. Traced outside, cut inside. I always remind myself like that because this version, if I get it wrong, is okay. I just have to cut it again to make it smaller. But how many times have I done it the other way around and had to start over? Because I traced on the inside. And then, yeah, it didn't work. I made it too small. Okay, one like that. And one like that. Small and Scrappy's like, I have used the same blade for 6 years and it's fine. Okay, so we're going to do this one and this one. There. Oh, I might have cut that one too big. Let's cut that one down just a tiny bit. Is that it? What have I got wrong on that shape? This edge here. Fine now, fine now. Okay, 2 more leaves. Gina wants recommendations on what cutting machines people would recommend. I'm going to stay out of this one because this is my relationship with my cutting machine. So, people who are happy with their machines, weigh in. tricky one. Okay, I think I've got that so it will make it work. Ah, Paige has switched from Cameo to the Cricut Explorer 4. Paige, you would be an expert then in telling us how easy is it to take your library of silhouette cut files, if you've been using Silhouette Studio for all these years, and switching over to being able to use it on Cricut, because I've never had a Cricut, so I have no idea. Do I have an extensive Silhouette Studio cut file library? Yes. So, is it easy to make that change over, or am I sacrificing loads of stuff that I've bought and or saved over the years? I would love to know from somebody who's done it. And done it recently is cool because these things change with every little update. Let's see. We have lots of lovers of both Cricuts and Silhouettes. And Auntie Caffeine has the Silhouette Portrait. So that's the smaller one than the Cameo, right? So I had a smaller one before the Cameo ever came out and gave us 12 by 12 potential, or 12 by whatever you want potential. But it wasn't, it had a different name back then. We called it the Craft Robo. All right, Georgia says she can switch studio files to SVG files very easily. That's good to know. Allie imports cut files from the internet all the time and they all work, so I assume the transfer would be similar. And Paige's answer is, it's a good question that I don't know the answer to because I just have my files on my computer, but I imagine you can download your library. Yeah. And I think I have everything backed up and Silhouette Studio just is showing me all the files in one place. Yeah, but it is a file of cut files on my computer. It's just showing me, it's like a browser basically, to show me what's there. So that is really good to know, that it's not like a completely different set of file types or something, you know, like, I mean, I'm going to date myself now, but like how you can't use a video in a DVD player. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want it to be that sort of like, nope, every movie you bought in that old format now does not work in the new player. That would be sad. So this sounds very, very positive that all the things you can cut on one, you can cut on the other. So those of you who have switched then from Cameo to Cricut, is it just easier to use? Are your cuts cleaner? Are you getting more out of your blades? What's the happiness? Okay, so this one is going to go here. Yeah. I think that's going to be about right. No, not quite. Okay, I might just have to cut it into pieces. That's okay. It was close, but not quite. Okay, let's punch out these. Oh, that's not the right tool. punch out these little middle pieces now. I love that Annalise is confident that it's looking gorgeous. To me, I'm going, it takes so long to back a cut file on a live stream. Why do I ever say yes to this? And that would be why this is my second cut file of 2025. Ooh, what's just happened? Hold up. Okay, did it cut for a second? I'm not sure why, but it looked on my end like it may have cut for just a moment. So then let's go ahead and stick this one. Nope, blue side, yeah. Yeah, Georgia says the last cut file was July, and that was for Georgia's, it was Georgia's birthday request was, can we have a cut file? And I did the celebrate piece for, and I used WB's last show pictures. Last show at Starlight, not like last show ever, no. Oh, Lisa likes that I do it live. Okay, I always feel a little self-conscious doing these live because it's kind of slow. It's like watching paint dry, and I always think it must be tedious to watch. But, you know, if you watch on replay, you can always speed me up. That was this side, wasn't it? Yeah. So good to know that the tedious work on a live stream is still handy for some people. Georgia definitely had it marked in her calendar because it was her birthday week. Yep. What have I done there? Eraser. I tried to not get pencil marks visible, but you know what? Erasers are there for a reason. It's fine. Okay, then I have this last one. I just needed a little separating. Okay, and then we can glue this side. And it's going to need trimming. But we can do that. Okay. Again, let's cut her into 2 pieces. This pesky little divot in here. This is the sort of scrapping where I always think there are people who are probably like really elegant at this job. And this is like not that. Okay, this one. Yeah, I'm not elegant when it comes to backing cut files. But I get the job done. Okay, so we've got, y'all, you just let me do that backwards. Did anybody tell me? It was so pretty I couldn't help it. I just suddenly thought, did I decide to do pink leaves? No wonder they didn't fit. I just did them all in reverse. What did I say? I'm not elegant when it comes to cut files. Oh, amazing. No wonder it did not fit. I need to recut that Let's just cut all 3 of these into single ones. Ah, don't do that. Allie's like, Paige is elegant. I'm not. Okay. That one's too skinny now. No? Fits. Okay. Da 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 da. Right. Rita asks, are Shimelle's older collections still on digital to purchase? If you go to, have they taken down AC Digitals? I'm guessing no, because it wasn't actually American Crafts. So try acdigitals.com. You can buy whatever's there. We have, okay, now we have green and blue leaves. Da, 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 da. Lovely. Giant flowers. And one of these did punch out on its own. It's like my machine going, I got you just some of the time. I got you just enough that you don't throw me out the window. Okay. Remember the last time we did a cut file, the reason I did a giant word is because they're really quick to back. Lindsay says she is missing layout thumbnails. No, they are not somewhere. They are not somewhere. Do you mean in class or on live streams? Georgia is confirming AC Digitals is still there. Carrie says, could you cut it twice? Honey, this is 6 passes on the second time I've ever used the blade. This is just what I get on my machine. That's why I'm staying out of the conversation of do I recommend machines. Yeah. Because, I don't know. And then, like, I went through, when I was doing more regular cut file stuff, because I was on Paige's lovely design team, which was super fun, but I got to, like, have a conversation with my machine quite often. And I got to a point where I was like, oh, I have figured it out. These are the magic settings. And then next time it went, no, they're not. And this is it. Every time I cut, it has its own opinion. So there we go. All right, but we are almost done. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to back these teeny tiny ones on the live stream, but I'm going to back them in the same color that I'm backing these 2 flowers. And then the 3 acorns will be a different color from that. Okay, so let's do these 2 flowers because they're going to be pretty easy. I will save the little leaves that are with them and these teeny tiny gaps in these flowers. And there we go. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I wanted this color for the big bold flowers. Pencil. One. And 2. Yep, Lindsay, I don't have them for the live streams at the moment. No. I just don't. They are a lovely extra, but I just don't get there. So I try to make the subject lines as descriptive as possible so that is helpful. But yeah, right now the thumbnails are all the same. Come back here. Hand painting to bring the hedgehog back. Sketchhog. Okay. This one. I gotta figure out where. I think that, no. Not elegant. Not elegant. Hot mess? Oh, pretty. Ali says, are you going to get to see WB's show at all? Yes, I will see his new project, but it's just not close to home. It's not like London. So it's a different sort of gig. So yeah, he comes home for about 18 hours at the weekend to reset everything. He has one sleep in his own bed, and he goes right back out. Yep. But once it's all announced, I can post it, but not yet. Which way round? There, it's that way there. So what am I losing here? What's upside down? I made that one the right color. We're good. So close. Okay, I'm going to have to tidy this side a little bit. These two bits a little bit bigger and hanging over the edge. But we can fix that. Okay. Now we have pretty little flower there. Then let's just do the big section on the acorns so that we can get this onto the layout, and then I can come back and put in the teeny little spots later. Allison says, did you do something nice on the 18 hours, or do you just catch up on the laundry? So I have it so that his clothes are all packed for the next week when he gets in, and we come in the front door, and I literally go upstairs and take all of the dirty laundry out and put the new laundry in, the clean stuff. So the hilarious bit is it means you need 2 whole weeks worth of rehearsal clothes. 14 pairs of joggers. Did everybody own 14 pairs of joggers? Did not own 14 pairs of joggers. Okay, so pink acorns? Pink acorns. Okay. So yeah, and everything is packed in a little bag that's labeled with the day of the week, so that there's no thinking about getting up and ready in the morning, so that he's fast. And then he puts the dirty laundry back in that same bag at the end of the night. And that means that at the end of the week, he's actually already packed. That's the idea anyway. And everything is kept all contained. It is hashtag organized for sure. Yeah, and hopefully then keeps him on track and ready to go, because the day that they travel home is not just a travel day. They work until a certain point, and then they travel. So they have to be like packed really fast and keep all their stuff with them while they're working that day. And then they go straight from work to the train station, or however they are traveling. And then usually of a morning, I get a little fit check selfie where he takes a picture of himself all dressed in the mirror, and he's like, here you go, see you later. And sometimes I get that, but if he's running late, which he's not a morning person, so he often is, I don't get that. And then I have to wonder all day, are you okay? But I know he is okay, because otherwise I would get a call from the people in charge. But it's still kind of weird. It's nice to have just a little text to be like, yep, here I am. I didn't say it out loud, and then I cut the wrong way, didn't I? But I cut too big. It's fine. Yes, he has a tutor on the job. Yeah. And school sends through what they want him to do, but then he has to do it pretty much independently, and then they can ask the tutor if they get stuck on something, and then they get little trips out, educational trips out too. So that part's quite exciting. Okay, this is the last piece I'm going to back on the live. Now we're going to scrap. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Dun, 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 dun. Hold on, let's put a backing paper there. La la la. Okay, I'm loving the colors. Amazing work, Paige. We love. So what I am not going to do on the live that I will do before the layout is finished. These two flowers have little leaves here that I will back. These little flowers appear twice, and then they will get backed. And I'll do these tiny little pieces at the top of the acorn. Cool? All right. Breathe. Now we do other stuff that I'm better at. It's still fun though. Like, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy it. It's just one of the only things that makes me really self-conscious when we're live streaming. So I feel like I don't get enough done, and that you'll be like, come on, get with it, but I can't make it go any faster. So there we have it. Okay. Now, pink brush is going to come out to play. I say, and then it's hiding. No, it is still there. I just didn't see it. Okay. Hello, bonus thread. We are going to get some pink. Which pink do we think is the nicest match? I think we're going to go flamingo. Kitsch, flamingo. And we are going to take this and this. And then you're going to laugh because I didn't ink it nearly enough. Let's go again. Okay. really doesn't want to make this background pink though. But we like the glow. Yes? Georgia says, if backing cut files makes you self-conscious, perhaps you should do it more. My own advice. If it's not working, do it more. More. Well, I don't know. I'll have to watch back the I'll watch back the viewer statistics. See if everybody tunes in, sees that I'm backing something and goes, nope, right on out of there. Or skips over it all. What pink is this? Kitsch Flamingo. And the cardstock may be an issue. Okay, so what I'm cutting is the American Crafts. I still have a stash of the American Crafts cardstock that they even at one point started selling as the precision cutting cardstock. I also went through a phase of using the Basil Marshmallow Smoothie cardstock because I actually like the smooth edge a little better than the linen texture, but I mean, it just depends on the day. I do like this one too, and when I do the inking over the top like this, the texture is really nice. Come on. It's not a dry ink pad. I can see the ink happening here, but you can't see much happening here. Come on. That's why I don't like brushes all that much. I don't know. Sensory experience, yay. Amount of elbow grease required, and the fact that you get randomness like that, not a yay. What happened there? Yeah, I don't get it. I'm going to just swap over to a booper. It is weird. Has anybody done like a big comparison of different brands of brushes? Is this a... What? What is that about? Is this, are different brands like all that different? I have 2 different brands, so it's not really a full study. I have one of these. Why? It's almost like there are certain places in the cardstock where it just wants to adhere a bit more. It's okay. It's all going to work out, but it's weird. I also do. Where's my flamingo? Let's compare. Booper. Same ink pad, just different tool. So much easier. Who knew? I don't know. I'm not sold on brushes. That's why I only have 3 and I have a booper head for every ink pad. I want to soften this bit where this brush was grumpy. And I used to think that you got better feathering with the brush. I'm not really convinced that you do, because you can get great feathering with a booper. It's fine. I think I should just accept that this is my happy space. Boopers are my thing. I don't need to change for change's sake. My control is better. I'm not getting any of that weirdness that I got there. And look, color without like taking my arm out of the socket. And Corey says, her daughters could give us a full report of the different brushes in a makeup sense, but not with ink pads. Georgia is too heavy-handed with the booper, and she's completely swapped over to brushes. So, do you get those weirdness? Like, Gina was saying booper and booper head at the retreat, and then had to explain herself. You found people who don't say booper and don't know what you're on about. You got to inform them. That's your duty. in the scrapbook world is if you come up against somebody who's like, what's a booper head? Oh, honey, we got to tell you. Story time. Yeah. Because boop, boop, boop. That's how. How do you load a booper? Boop, boop, boop. How do you put it through a stencil? Boop, boop, boop. I'm telling you. Let kids name everything. I still think it should come up as a search. Like it should be a keyword. If you go to the store and you're searching for, what are they called? Domed foam ink applicators. Booper heads. They're called booper heads. Auntie Caffeine is like, what? This is a booper. This is a booper head. You silly booper head. Because in lockdown, when schools were closed, WB would join me for live streams, and he loved to help ink. And so he would do it with sound effects, and he would go boop, boop, boop. And so we called it booper. And then when schools opened back up, this had become such a thing that he came home, and if somebody had, done something that he did not love, he'd sit down and tell me in all seriousness, do you know who today was a silly booper head? That's just part of our vocabulary. Autumn's 4-year-old granddaughter made her first card and used a stencil, and she knows booper and booper head. We're so proud. Okay, this is therapeutic now that I've changed to the booper. The glow! Yeah, love a glow. I know. I'm doing all the things that take more time today I don't normally do. Okay, we'll come back to this bit here with the brush where it was not so glowy and was more splotchy. And we'll just add some more and soften it up. It's all okay. Okay, so here we're just going to do a big curve. Soften that edge. Okay. Not a circle, just fine. Okay, I want to soften that inside edge too. So let's just go around. And now I'm not going to add any more ink. I'm just going to brush out ink that's already there on the page to soften everything. So you don't get like a harsh line that's like, here's pink and here's white. I'm going to fade. And you're in trouble. There we go. Kitsch, flamingo. This is probably giving somebody anxiety up here. It's not very hashtag organized. Let's see if I can remove it from your site. Here, we can do it like this. Travel to the paper bin. There we go. All right. So, starting point. Remember, that's what we're doing. Our starting point is going to have that ink halo, that cut file all backed, well, mostly backed, and then we're going to cut out a couple of these to Did you get that? All right, so I'm going to take, that one is ever so slightly not fully there. So I really liked that one though. Maybe I tuck it in. I liked these three right here, so I'm going to stick with that gut instinct. Now, they have a little scallop edge. I am in no way going to try to recreate that. See you later, Sophia. I hope the boys enjoy the game time. All right. Oh, and Sophia says, don't forget the thumbs up button. Thank you. So instead of trying to do anything involving that teeny tiny scallop, I'm just going to cut around it like it's a little ellipse with a turquoise halo. So we're going to have that. We're going to have this. And what are we thinking about journaling in this wreath? Would you add a journaling card? Would you write straight onto the wood grain background? Should it be a poll so we can make it nice and easy? Let's see, let's see. Oh, Auntie Caffeine had a question. Hold on. Where are you? Question, Shimelle. What do you do when you create a mixed media project and you hate the mixed media part of it? Do you all remember? There was a pink and purple layout that I did, which I believe was in lockdown. It was that sort of era. Oh no, it must have been slightly after, because was it pink and purple for the pink and purple suit, which didn't come until the end of lockdown? Okay, so anyway, I spent the whole live stream doing this whole big inking, stamping thing, and then without any warning, I tore it in half. I still used it, but everybody thought I was making the background, and I thought I was making the background, and I went, nope, and I just cut it, tore it into pieces. And then I used that. So yep, it's just paper. Honestly, I would not stress about it. If I don't like it, it's okay. Did I like the process of making it? Then it served its purpose. Did I learn something? Then it served its purpose. It's fine. It does not stress me out to make something and be like, nope, don't love that. Let's try again. It's fine. All right. Oh, I said I'd do a poll. Then I got distracted. Start a poll. Where would you journal? Would you add a journaling card or paper, whatever, straight, and can't spell, straight onto the wood grain background? Oh, I can't write background. Okay, wood grain. There's the poll. Auntie Caffeine says, I am so bold. My problem is that it is paper and time. I have no time in my life. Auntie Caffeine, I'm going to cross you on that. You're here quite often, so you do have time. It's okay. There's not a race here. I'm glad that you're here. But I mean, you don't have to be like, you don't have to be thinking that I must get more done. Change that mindset, reframe. I must make things I enjoy. Yeah? It's okay. Don't stress. It's all right. Just chill a little bit. It is paper. It's only paper. Do you have more paper? I got more paper. I know you have more paper. You told me you're hoarding your head in the clouds, and that's like many years old. So you know. Hard truths with Shimelle. Okay, so this one is the one where I really like it, but it has the edge cut, so we're going to bring it in here. Like that. Okay, and there was a spot where I was like, oh, I think I'll fix that by just gluing it down. It's okay. So do we put two quite close to each other, or do we spread them out? I think we tuck that one in and we put this one on top, but where? Too close. You know what it is, because I didn't work on the diagonal, so now I don't know what I'm doing. And pop that one up. Is it weird to have one outside? I mean, I can go higher up. I could tuck that one there. I could bring this one all the way down here, but I'm not loving that. No, I want the two together. Corey likes to let her papers age a bit, like a nice bottle of wine. They must be hoarded and savored, and then they're fair game. George's mindset has evolved into, I'd rather make one layout I love than 10 for the sake of documenting and binning them years later. Fair enough. Georgia can say that because last week, she has been binning old layouts that bring her no joy. I am going to put two together, I think. But where? Maybe pop the one that goes over the bottom edge. I'm liking that. Let's have some Papio but I wanted these Papios. Papio strips. So what I'm going to do is work out, yeah. Remember, I haven't actually stuck the wreath to the background yet because I want to be able to go back and finish those flowers. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay. I think that's the starting point. And because 66% of you say you'd write straight onto the background. So is that enough to be a starting point? Allie likes that one goes to the outside. Okay. Now, I think because I brought up a step stool, it's not the bucket. The bucket now holds Lego men. I can't use the bucket. But I'm going to try to do screen grab, and then that's going to screw with the focus thing. Yeah. And then I'm going to be able to refocus it, maybe? Why does it do that? There we go. Okay. I think I have been not patient enough before. Are we all set on the focus? Yes. Okay, good. Do you like that's my little test? If my hand stays blurry, then we're good to go. Okay, so that's our starting point. Beautiful. And oh, who's talking about audiobooks? Wow. Audiobooks while you do what? Oh, here. Manito needs to start listening to audiobooks so she can scrapbook while enjoying a good book. And then we have different comments on what people can do while they are listening to an audiobook. All right. We got some photos. We're going to do 2 3x4s with my version. But it's a starting point, so you might take it from here into anywhere you want. Might have bigger photos, might have more photos, might have just a tiny little baby photo. It's all good. I was worried that 2 4x6s wouldn't fit well in the wreath. I think you could definitely do 1 4x6 without any trouble. You could do 2. It's going to be a little, what's the word? Like there's just going to be less open space. You could definitely do it. What? Auntie Caffeine says, I have to cut up my childhood Frosty the Snowman golden book for a junk journal, and I'm terrified. Why are you doing it then? Why are you cutting it up when you could use something else? Is it that you want to, and you're just kind of scared to do this great idea that you have? Or have you been talked into something that you don't want to do? Are you safe? Blink twice if you're not. Being held captive by paper crafters. I don't think that's a thing, but I worry now. Okay, so we are going to tuck things in, and they need mats. So let's do one in the blue and one in the purple. I want to go over here because this way I still have a 12-inch strip for future projects. Auntie Caffeine is blinking twice. Someone please go help. So who's making you cut up your childhood Frosty the Snowman? I'm so confused. Oh, Allison. I bet there's some sort of answer to that. Allison listens to audiobooks to fall asleep, but then they're playing and she falls asleep, so she doesn't know where she left off. I feel like this cannot be a problem that hasn't been solved. I feel like there needs to be an answer to that. Oh, you're okay. She's safe. She's blinking twice for safety. Okay. So we'll have that beautiful pink and burgundy kind of combination. And we'll have this lovely blue. I love this photo. Dun, dun, dun. And we're going to tuck these in. Now, the wreath is not stuck, but it kind of is just a little bit with a little bit of the adhesive that's there from the matting. So I'm going to be sticking things to the background. So that's going to go here. And then this one may be going next to it. Now, what are we going to do? So the wreath is going to cover the bottom of this one, but we end up with this little weirdness here, which I feel we need to bring some flowers into. But I don't have floral die cuts this month. These are the die cuts we have this month, but they're a different collection. This one might just about work. Actually, the pink might work too. Hold on. But they don't work down here. So, who knows what I'm doing here. Okay, let's see. We could do, I'm not convinced that this blue-green, it's a slightly different blue-green. I know I'm always like, slightly different doesn't matter, but it's just a little bit too much. But that might work. And that might work. Okay, we could do all that pink stripe / gingham. Okay, we can do that. Annoyingly, neither of those colors work. The sentiment and the space of it all, yes, but no. Okay, what are the black and white pieces in here? We can have that one. We can have that one. Does anybody ever get confused going, obviously? Yes, it is. So is that. I don't know. I'm here for words that can go with so many things, but also sometimes I'm like, really? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I love putting cameras on paper, so maybe I'm just being silly. Okay, so I'll pull it out just because I like 3. So let's see what we can do with those. Oh, Lisa has got an idea. She says, instead of backing the little flowers, just put an enamel dot in the middle and be done. I like this plan. There we go. Corey says we should use this to make a title that says a photo of the best day ever. Just use all these things. Yay! Lisa finished packing her cut file. Amazing. All right. See, here's what I'm thinking is that we can use this down here. Maybe even need to do like 2 strips of it. Would you cut out the scallop like I did the other day? Maybe just on the first one. Hold on. I don't want to end up with then it still has a gap and I'm like, what did I do? I don't think you're even going to see that it's scalloped, so it doesn't matter. You're just going to see that it's pink gingham. That's fine. So these are from Pretty Little Studio. Both the die cuts and the 6x6 paper pad that we had this month. So we're going to bring that here. Does that work? Yeah, but I need to cut that corner there. Quite literally cutting corners. Yes. Then let's bring that over to here. So we have a little triangle of the pink. I'm going to bring this one over here. Which means if it's going on top of that, it also needs papillos. Where did you go, my papillo? Oh my goodness, because I just did Where Did You Go? Now I feel that we need a new papillo song. I know we have our original papillo theme tune, but when I lose my papillos on the desk, I feel there is something waiting to happen with the melody from Cotton Eye Joe. Is that the sort of thing that's going to get me taken off the internet? I shouldn't have taken that one off. It's the other side I should take off. Cover that one. Take this one off. Yeah. Yes? Are we liking so far? Then, our lettering this month is purple. Oh, but we have turquoise as well, don't we? Where is that hiding? Here. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we have 2 blue greens. Could either of them work? I think the darker one, because this one we get into, it's like the same sort of tonal value as the blue, but it's the blue-green. So I think that is better. Yes? Okay. So we got, pop that across there. I don't know. Not 100% where these are going yet. And I think I do want somewhere to write in here. Now, that journaling sheet is more Halloween-y, but I'm going to check it just in case. You never know. Sometimes there's a box that goes with everything. Oh, and I had a tag sheet. There might be something. Okay, obviously the colors don't work. I could just have this and take the title bit off because, oh, I could have a green tag. The green would work. Okay, place your bets now. Is the opposite side of this going to be the most fabulous tag on the sheet? And I'm not going to want to take it because it's the only green top. It's just polka dot. Let's do it. Yes, Autumn, I agree. Pretty Little Studio paper is shiny. It's not the shiniest we've had in the industry, but it's not matte. And I would love for it to be matte, but their designs are so cute that that's kind of winning out over the shininess. I don't know. They might eventually go matte. There is another company that started as a small company and everything was a little glossier than it is now. So they could change their mind, or they could be big time lovers of the glossy, and that's their USP. And by all means, don't change because we're here whining. We're silly. Okay. Don't worry, it's coming back. So if we put the tagger right in the middle, and we put this back this side, yes? Okay. Georgia says, I'm very much on the fence with the shininess and it's putting me off using it even though I love the collection. The interesting bit is shininess. I think a lot of it is our experience when we're using it, because when the layout is done, like you take a picture of it to put on the internet or whatever, you can't tell that the paper's shiny. But when we're working with it, we all have that same reaction going, I don't love that it's shiny. There is another brand that I tried once and it was so shiny that I've never put it in a kit again. And then somebody told me, oh, they don't do every collection on that cardstock base. And I'm like, well, then I need an update on every collection going, is it on your super gloss shiny photo type paper or is it on normal matte cardstock? Because I don't like the super gloss. Yeah. Okay. Liking that. I do wish I had 3. So I could use, I don't know if he would get offended by me using besties. The other 2 words I have are besties and sisters. So I can't use sisters for 2 girls and a boy. I don't know if he would get bothered by me using besties because he probably has people that he would call that. But I might put it on and then ask him. If it disappears, you'll know he was like, Mommy, we're really good friends, but besties is a special word. I don't know what his opinion will be. So we'll find out. Okay, liking that. So I have teeny tiny words here, or letters here. And I want, let's see. So I think I do my little bit of just date storytelling. So these are both from week 2. So I want week 2 on here somewhere. So I think I'm going to do that with tiny little ones, but then do some sort of larger letter title. I know I started to say I can't use the purple, but I have purple in here. Let's look at it. It might not be, not the purple glitter, but the purple flat. It might be all right. It's a lighter shade. What do you think? Corey, Shimelle, do you ever consider scrapping candids other than ovations in plays? I'm lost. So, like where I normally do bow photos, I have scrapped a few photos that shouldn't exist, but I do them in class, not on YouTube, so that I don't get in trouble. Is that what you mean? Or do you mean like backstagey type stuff? Oh my goodness, there's a huge outrage about the gloss. I didn't realize that it would be so like such an opinion. Corey says, yeah, candid photos. So basically, we don't get them. So children, working children's rules here really protect what kind of photos can be taken of them backstage. Adults can have candid photos taken. There's an amazing theater photographer who gets a lot of backstage access here called, well, his Instagram is Danny with a camera. He's called Danny Kahn. And he has been there on shows and performances when WB is on, but they're not allowed to just take candid photos. Yeah, Corey's like live photos of WB playing with Legos or video games, etc., like backstage. No. So we're not allowed pictures like that. I have one of 2 kids in the dressing room at Starlight, both in costume, and they're making a board game of their own creation. And that's literally the only photo I have in that sort of category. Because they're not allowed to take it. So they can take a photo where they have informed the child to say, okay, we're going to take a photo now. So that's what we get. Yeah. But you can't, like, because we think of candids as parents, we think of candids as like catching a frozen moment of your child's existence, like in their natural element. But that's because you're part of their family. And to do that in a professional situation where they don't have a parent with them and the people who are around them and allowed to take picture are their chaperone caregiver, their number one job is safeguarding. So there's no catching something that they don't know is being taken. So I either get bows when they actually are on a job, or I get things like this where they've said to the kids, we're taking your picture now. Smile. There we go. That's what we get. All right. So we're going to do little stickers here. For people asking about, like, is shiny paper more expensive to print than matte? No, I would not think that it is. The matte cardstock, like this sort of stuff, that base is not cheap. That's why scrapbooking supplies went more and more expensive over time. That base is not at all cheap. Not that the shiny one is. I would assume that it is. They are printing through whatever printing company is near them. Yeah. Jen is saying she's found the more she works with the glossy papers, the more comfortable she is with it. Like these feel very similar in sticker stock to these that I get. Oh, you know my stagey Letters to July stickers? It feels very similar. Yeah, I would say that's probably the same stock being used. Now, interestingly, I'm glad it's not this. So this is, I don't know if you can tell exactly how glossy. It's like bumper sticker glossy. Yeah, I saw that. Like, Show Besties, he may be good with that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna ask him when he's here, and then I can always change it if he wants a different word. Okay, we are there, and then larger letters. Trying to think of all the things he told me this week so that I know where I'm going with the journaling, and then I would know what to write in my purple letters. Oh, okay. I know the most important thing about what they did this week, or in week 2. Can I come up with a wording that would make that make sense? In like a couple little words. Yes. Okay, got it. I've got it. Which lettering? Do this one. Lisa likes shiny. She's a magpie. Oh, I like the purple. Okay, I'm loving it. I'm loving the purple. I'm glad I checked. Yay. I knew there was a reason that I was like, no, letter stickers this month have 2 purple options. Okay, so we're going to go on top of this. So I need to make sure that's in the right place, but it is. This, however, is not. Okay. Da 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 da, G. Ah! That was not elegant. Corey says, anytime she sees the word shiny, she thinks shiny, and then she gets distracted. I'd rather be shiny. Right. Do I stick with the same letters? I think I'm going to go with the narrow ones here. Okay, so it's going to be called Once Through, which makes sense for what is going to go in the journaling. Okay, let's look at some enamel dots. This is also good. Okay, I know we got some trapped in here, but it's okay. Right, let's look at dots. I'm wondering if I have shades of purple that could work. Lavender. I wanted like a deeper eggplanty purple to match that floral. Okay, and then this month we had orange, but I don't want that here. So let's see. Does that end up look? No, that's definitely brown. I was like, does it look kind of purple? No. Sometimes brown can look a little purple. That one does not. It looks brown. Not even seeing a pale pink that would work. It's kind of annoying. Gray, don't want that one. Now, these work mean, I could actually use that one. I clearly haven't. How big do we need to be for the middle? It's too peachy, isn't it? Oh, how frustrating. Okay, I got one more place to look. As in the colors I have been using over the last couple days. Any extras that are out and not in their basket that would be just right? Nah, that would have made it too easy. Oh, I've got some purple hearts though. Just stickers, not like the honor. Just stickers. What color are these? What color are these? No. Also no. Okay. Well, let's take those purple hearts. Oh, are they gray? There's not enough. They're gray. I thought they were lavender. They're gray. How unfun. Okay. I might change them later. But for now, we're going to go with these. Although, actually, with them being at the title, I don't particularly want them bright, you know? Oh, Debbie went to a weekend scrapbooking event, and she worked on a flip book with a flip book with Vicky for Christmas, a mini album for Halloween with Paige, and a traveler's notebook set with Layla with Lael. Oh, you went to sorry, I thought you went to their event, like them in person. I got it. I didn't realize you were going to that one, Debbie. Yeah, lots of beautiful things made there. Well done. That's oh yes, Elaine heard me say it's too peachy. I know. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get with me. So let's then do some little combinations here. I know they're not my happy set of 3 because I don't have any big ones left. Because the only one that I have 2, but it's too peachy. You can use that middle color. Clearly, I need to stock up because I'm running out. How can I be running out of something when I have so many, but also so many colors that I need? Okay. I'll do a little grouping there. I'll do a little grouping here too. No, I think they should go into the center. There. Okay, so journaling's going on there. You could add in another card here for 2 journaling cards, or you could take the card element out and write straight onto it, which is what 2/3 of you said you would do. But I believe we will all be agreed on rose gold. Yes? Question, are you going to journal on the tag or the background now? I'm journaling on the tag. I know. I didn't do what you all said you would do. Oh, Megan was at the same event. Amazing. And now, rose gold. I'll come back and get that off the photo right now. So this is saltwater taffy distress spritz. I call it rose gold because it's rose gold, but that's the ink color. And yes, when I stick the cut file down, I will make sure that's all nice and square. Square here, square there. We'll be all good. So a tiny bit left for me to back, not live, on the leaves here and the tops of the acorns, and maybe just poke out the center of those flowers. I will definitely be sticking that down so it's not as obvious that I took off the top of that. Lisa says, would I pop up the wreath or leave it flat? I'm going to leave it flat because I've popped up this area here. And interestingly, had the same discussion with two different people from in direct messages over the weekend about how many pages do I fit in my albums. Because interestingly, there was a question, open-ended question on the Facebook group about what albums do you suggest? I'm going to put this out there. I knew there are many, many Creative Memories fans and consultants on that group. So I knew there would be a lot of people coming to say that they love Creative Memories albums. And I have absolutely no problem with someone saying, I love Creative Memories albums. Okay? Here's where I have problems. I will only use Creative Memory albums, or anything that leans toward you should only use Creative Memories albums. I really, really thought that we had got way past that mentality, and it really saddened me to see it come up. Lots of people straight away using that sort of direct sales messaging of this is the only way. So years and years and years ago, when I first started scrapbooking and I had been scrapbooking with non-CM products, went to a CM crop and was told that everything I was doing was flat out wrong and I should just tear it all up and start again because I was doing, I was scrapbooking wrong. The language was like that in order to sell more stuff. And yes, their product was high quality and archival. That's great. But there is more than one way to do this craft. It's a craft. There's not just one way. And so I really thought, because the company has changed a lot since that era, and that's like over 25 years ago. So I really thought that we had come a long way from that. So to see lots of people use the language of only their products, it really saddens me. We make room for everybody to do it the way they want. So no onlys, okay? So I love a 3-ring album. And so I don't love a CM album. They are well made, yes, but I don't enjoy them as a creative process. There's a lot of talk about how they look on the shelf, and I don't see it. I love how my albums look on the shelf. So, that's all just a matter of taste. That's fine. And yeah, there isn't an only, and I'm saying that as if I were to tell you, I design products. I love the products I design, otherwise I wouldn't have made them, but they're not the only things to use. And I love D-ring albums with the 3-ring binder, but they're not the only things to use. So please, don't let anybody in this craft tell you that there's only one way to do things. So anyway, from that discussion, we got onto how many pages do you put in your albums? And I use D-ring albums. And I said, it's interesting that you say that because I used to get 22 page protectors, so 44 layouts. And I might get 23 in one, but it was pretty consistent at 22. And then in the last couple years, I've made a choice because I have a finite amount of space for my albums. I made a choice to pop fewer things. No pop dots, but maybe to just bring it down a little bit. And I now get more like 26, 27, 28 page protectors in an album. So that's the difference for me in how many things I pop up. So as I've already got this popped, I won't pop the whole wreath. But you could, and if you're not worried about having a finite amount of space for albums and being a really prolific scrapbooker and being like, oh, I make so many things and I'm going to run out of room to put them in, then that's fine. Pop it all up. But I'm not going to. Is that fine? Fair enough? Yeah. And I hope that my message is clear. Like, CM makes some things that are really nice, and they are very archival, and that part of their company has always been a big deal, and I appreciate that. And they have had really good quality tools over the years. My corner rounder that's sitting in here, that's a CM tool. And I don't love the language of anything is the only way. It's not. It's craft, it's creativity. Creativity is the definition of there not being one only way. Let's just leave it on that. Okay? So if you saw something like that and thought, oh, I'm doing it wrong and I need to get my pages into CM albums, use the albums you love. Use the albums you can afford. Use the albums that you're going to enjoy. It's all good. Okay? Fabulous. Auntie Caffeine uses whatever 3-ring album she can find at the thrift store for £3 or $3.99. Fabulous. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Thank you for joining me on this long-winded layout. I don't do this style very often because it takes so long on a video, but I hope you enjoyed it in the end. And this is just one way that you could finish from that starting point of the ink and the wreath on the wood grain. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm very glad that you're here and that you came through this adventure with me. If you enjoyed it and you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be super duper awesome. I'll be live again Friday at 10 a.m. UK time, and you can always watch anything on the replay. And also, I teach classes and you can sign up for them by following the links in the description box, #advertising and all that. So you can sign up for a class and get stuff that doesn't have random rubbish in it. Here on the live stream, we just chit chat about any old topic that anybody brings up. We were relatively on topic of scrapbooking today. We didn't do a lot of big tangents. Sometimes we really do. But in my classes, everything has a lesson plan, and I'm focused to teach you something in each lesson. So a little different scenario. Right? Thank you so much. Have a great week. I'll see you again on Friday maybe, or on the replay.